Oh, so fun.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
From
morning
New
from
York.
Canada.
From New
So
York.
I
From
loved
New
seeing your
York.
video about you received the book. That was real
Yeah,
exciting.
I know.
So
I was
exciting.
so excited. I was so excited. I got it like
Somehow I got muted. All right, just 1 second here.
okay.
All right. First of all, I want to welcome everyone. All right. I want to welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. So I'm Dr. Clint G. Rogers. You already probably know that, but there's some people joining us for the first time, which is exciting. And for those who are joining for the first time, you're in for a real treat. For those who have been here before, you know what is in store. So we have a whole bunch of beautiful experiences set in place for today, the fifth week of this global healing miracle experiment, and so many things have already happened that are beyond even what I anticipated or expected in individual people's lives, and we're going to hear about some of that, and then also just collectively. So first of all, I want to welcome everyone. You can put in the chat right now where you're joining from. So I love when people are putting from Dallas, from New York, Jefferson City, Dick, fantastic. Manal from Toronto, Savan from Northampton, UK. So fun to see everyone joining from all over the world. Liz from Long Island, Hazal from Spain, Carol from Mexico, Gil from Greater Pittsburgh, Felipe from Puerto Rico, Ellen from Massachusetts, Elio from USA, Savan. So many questions that are coming in as well. Stephanie from Fairfield, Iowa, Kim, the USA, Connie from Bahamas. Oh, Connie, so good to see you here. Claudia, New Jersey, Manaj, Ottawa. We got people from British Columbia, Catskill Mountain, Susie, Lindsay, from Michigan. So good you're here. Teresa Khan from London, Barbara from Rotterdam, Tawa also from London, Helene from Virginia, Michelle from upstate New York. We got Anura from Sri Lanka. So many beautiful people from so many beautiful places. It's such an honor to be with you today. I'm so excited about what we're going to experience. This call, this 1 hour that we're together, could be one of the best experiences of your life. It could alter the way that you look at yourself, the way you look at the world. And by altering it in some little perception changes, could be a breakthrough moment for experiencing many, many miracles in your life. So, without further ado, like we do every week, I want to make sure that we give some time to drop from our head to our heart. So, I'm going to hand it over to Gary Malkin, who has a very beautiful experience prepared for us. Gary, do you want to unmute yourself and walk us through this? Here, let's see. Maybe I can
Yes,
unmute you, Gary.
yes. Yeah, no, I got it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so I'm about to invite us all into an opportunity to drop, like Clint said, Dr. Rogers said, from our head to our hearts. And, there's nothing like music, as we've done for all of these calls, to really allow ourselves to stretch into the space of being and into the unified field of consciousness. Music has this remarkable, it's the universal language of human emotion, right? So I'm going to play this track that you've heard before. So allow the music to bring you into the present moment. Everybody let's all take a collective deep breath. Longer exhale than let's take another deep breath in and deep, long exhale. Exhale. On this last breath, take a deep breath and feel a nice, long, audible sigh. Inhale. Ah. Notice just by those 3 deep breaths, you're more present. Your ability to feel grounded on your feet on the ground, connected to Mother Earth is stronger. Notice the music is holding you in the embrace, the silent embrace of beauty. The most beautiful way you can prepare for this call is by getting yourself here, letting go of any cares and concerns of the day that have happened thus far. For those like me, I'm in the West Coast, so my day is just beginning. So that beautiful, fresh, clean feeling of being here. One of the ways we love being present, because the heart is the governor of all functioning, is to think of something or someone that you love or appreciate or are grateful for. And to breathe that awareness of that beautiful event or person or thing directly into your heart. You're going to do that with your own capacity to manage yourself. So the next few seconds, let the music hold you as you think about something you love or someone you love, and breathe them into your heart. Feel the gratitude global community that believes in the power of love, the capacity for us to be so fully here that miracles that you never dreamed were possible. As we wind this short meditation down, feel your heart, body, your mind, and your soul fully present, fully here, grateful, open-hearted, ready for the surprises that life brings. Joy, gratitude, humility, as we open to this miracle call. Namaste. Enjoy the call.
Wow. That was so beautiful, Gary. Thank you so much for that. Wow, that feels so good. And every call that Gary and I have together, we usually start with a few minutes of silence. And it's so helpful in those moments to kind of drop into your heart, and then it changes the whole dynamic of the meeting. And so that's why I'm so glad you're here, Gary, to bring us really heart-centered. And I know that today is a very, very, very special day in terms of what can happen for many of you on the call. This could be one of the most significant calls of your life, and a lot of possibility for today. So first of all, I do want to open it up now that we're dropped in our hearts. I just want to hear, there's some people who've had such magnificent miracle experiences that is not only good for you, but it's good for all of us. So for those who have one that they'd love to share and that you think can benefit the whole group, just how you do it is you can just signal like that you're raising your hand in the, I think there's a little, like in the same place where you can do the chat, I think there's a little place where you can signal and raise your hand, or I can also pop it up here and just look. So there's several people that want to share. If you can just raise your hand, if you have something in particular that you want to share, you can just raise your hand. I know that Kim had an experience that you wanted to share, Kim Erickson. Do you want me to unmute you and you can go ahead and share your experience? You may have to unmute yourself, but I'd love to hear your experience.
Thank you so much, Clint, and everyone on this call. I'm so excited to finally have a voice. I have been on most of the weeks, but I did not have your book yet. So the book just came a few days ago and I started reading it. I got in last night. I couldn't put it down. Clint, you did a fabulous job. I knew 2 years ago to meet Dr. Naram, and I emailed and wanted to go to meet him. I've been to India and Africa and did healing sessions and did things, and knew that in my heart, he was someone I was really supposed to meet because I needed for myself. Sometimes the healer needs to heal themselves. And it didn't happen. And somehow you contacted me and I was so excited and reached out to some people and just got the book. And Clint, I couldn't put it down this morning. You did such an amazing job coming from your heart. Not only did you come to share your experiences with Dr. Naram, but you gave formulas and you gave right there. You were so generous to give the mantra, what do you call it? I looked at all of his videos like a year ago and watched all of them and thought I could glean from them until I met him. And then when he passed, my heart sunk like so many others of, well, a few of you on the call expressed during the weeks that you didn't get to meet him. And so to be able to be here with all of you that have met him, that have your experiences, and Clint, that you were so generous to get this book done. And now you're calling on all of us to help. And I've been writing a book for 7 years now too. And I know that it will reach millions because just like Dr. Naram and like your heart, our heart is to share with millions of people around the world and to hear of how you were doing things, Clint, even before you met Dr. Naram. And then just to hear all of your experiences with him to share with us. I just want to promote the book all over the world as well and put it in my book, and we'll just keep multiplying until all the hundreds of millions of people that Dr. Naram and so many before us and healers have wanted to bring these healing secrets and understanding and options to a world that is in need of all of these things. So thank you, every one of you. And thank you so much, Clint, for your persistence, for your love, for your generosity to put this together, and for all of us to join together now to get it to reach to the multitudes.
So beautiful. Thank you, Kim. That's so beautiful. I'm so excited for your journey and to hear more and more of what happens. What more mystical miracles of love and healing experience. You have something else you wanted to share?
Thank you. I forgot one thing. So as I would go, and I did meet the Dalai Lama and Mother Teresa before she passed, and I've gone all through India and Africa and third world countries and wanted to take Mother Teresa's place when she passed. But that wasn't my journey. And yet helping everyone have homes of their own and giving up, you know, being that sacrificial martyr that I thought I was, that wasn't my journey. Yesterday, I was able to have a dream of mine, which is what this is about. I was able to get a home in the mountains with the peace and the serenity to be able to invite others to come, and kind of like my own ashram here in the States, But anyways, that's what I forgot to say. I'm so excited. So thank you for this healing experiment, because sometimes we need to heal ourselves. Those of us who just keep healing everybody else or being there for everyone else, we have to realize that it's from our own. We can't just keep giving from an empty cup. So I wanted to share that with all of you, how, you know, I know that we were, our healing experience in the very beginning was to see what came to us. And yesterday it caught me by surprise. I wasn't even expecting to have land of my own, and more or less overlooking the mountains, 180 degree of the most serene, peaceful Blue Ridge Mountains I could have ever experienced. So I wanted to share that with the group. Thank you, Clint.
Wow, so powerful, so beautiful. And you know what? I'm so happy about your openness to, you know, receive. Dr. Ram physically isn't here anymore, but for sure he's helping people and blessing them. And I can tell you're going to be an instrument of helping many people. So thank you so much for sharing that, Kim. Your enthusiasm, your beautiful smile, your beautiful energy. And I'm excited to hear what happens to you as you continue reading. I'm just seeing there's so many people on this call. AJ Mankani, oh my goodness, so fun that you're here. I don't know if you'd be willing to just share for a little bit, joining from Dubai. AJ, are you able to talk for a little bit? I don't know if you're able to speak or not, but just so wonderful having you on the call. I love it. Ian says, Happy Brothers Day. That's fantastic. I love that. All right, I'm gonna just go. I also saw that, who else wants to share next? Some miracle experience that they've had in this last week, 2 weeks. I think Elio, you're raising your hand. Go ahead, Elio, please share.
Good morning, everybody. I would love to say something mechanical. Next to the unmute button, there is the video button, and a lot of these beautiful faces we do not see. So if you click on that one, we're going to see your beautiful face. And now I'm going to share with you a little bit of my yesterday. I woke up in the morning, I saw your one of your videos. I got very inspired. The next thing, I want to make a video, but I look exactly the way I woke up and not exactly presentable to do a video. In any case, what was a miracle to me, I'm not very computer savvy. I can do things, you know, but not videos. Then I just went click, click, click. I put the video on. It says, oh, if you want to put the mask on. I put the mask on. It was a clown mask. When my hair looks exactly like a clown, ready for the occasion. That put me in a state of mind that I was laughing, crying, and I did a 30-second video. And that was just the beginning of the day. Then I wrote a response to your video, which affected me deeply. And then I caught on to your video on the PM, which was even more touching and more making me understand what the journey that I am in, but understanding it within myself, not a head understanding. And then we were sitting at the table sometime in the PM, and I didn't see any snakes yet. And, you know, feed the, you know, the crows and all that. I love hummingbirds. So the next thing is that I have like birds of paradise all around the house, because the hummingbirds just love the, you know, to come and feed. But there is no flowers at this moment, you know. It's past season where I'm at, you know, for the moment. So there is no flowers around. And one of these little birds decided to come through the back and practically hit the back sliding door. My wife says, "Hey, one of your birds is here." I'm like, okay. And we're seeing the bird once, twice, many times. I'm like, somebody says, "Hey, take a video." By the time, you know, that I got to take the video, I think it's not 9th excursion to appear. And still insisting that it has to, I opened the door and I'm like, nope, I'm not going to let this bird come in because, it's going to have a heck of a hard time, to go out. So I'm like, I'm not that foolish. So anyway, I took the video. It was a 30 seconds video, and absolutely, I have goosebumps now. But it made my day. It was like, wow, look at this. It happened everything at the same time. I'm like, boy, things are happening fast and furious. I am very, very grateful for the experience. I'm very grateful for all of you. Because every time I'm in the call, I feel the energy, and I think we are on the greatest path of humanity. Thank you.
Well, I would say, Elio, that you have a Naram smile. I would just
At
say,
the moment, yes. And Kim, I wanted to say exactly, Kim is hit by a thunderbolt. She has yours and him together.
oh, beautiful. Thank you, Elio. Thank you, Kim. Beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I want to have a couple others. I'm going to just see if anyone else is raising their hand. First of all, the joy, Elio, of what you just shared, little moments full of so much miraculous wonder and awe. That's what I get when I listen to you. And that's what I got when I was also listening to Kim. And when I see your faces, I see so many beautiful faces. Sheila, Lindsay, Padmalaya, Dhaval, Annabelle, Marzia, Anne, Randy. It's so fun to see so many people on this call. Indrani, so fun to see you. I also saw people. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to go to AJ Mankani and the family from Dubai. I'm going to see if we can hear you this time. If you can unmute yourself. There we go. Just 1 second here. Yeah, we can hear you. Let's see. Keep talking, but talk a little bit louder.
We had the privilege of meeting you with Dr. Naram and Dr. Marianne in Dubai when you were here. And it's absolutely fantastic. Mom made sure that we tuned into this because we just wanted to say we're so proud of all the work, and Dr. Naram lives on through you. And this mom made people read parts of the manuscript like it was the Holy Bible. So we're so, so happy. She wants to say a few words.
Hi, Clint. How are you, my dear?
Oh my goodness. So good to see you.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. And your book is just amazing. Takes you in a different world. And there's somebody was sick. I said, read this book. You will read, though you are not published it. Have you published the book yet?
On June 1st. June 1st is the launch date. So June 1st is when people can get it.
Yeah, and you gave me a copy to start to read. If you have any comments, my God, I wrote you. The book is beautiful, really super book. And wish you the very best of luck. And you are so genuine, so straightforward, so honest, and so encouraging in the book. And God bless you. And we love to see you. And I'm seeing you now personally, actually. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
I want to say your smile and your enthusiasm transports us to a different place. It's so wonderful. Mama Mankani, would you be willing? I don't want to embarrass you, but is it okay if I say if you say how old you are? How many years young you are, I should say.
Oh, I am nearly now 78, going to be 79 in November. 79 years, month of November. This
beautiful. You're 79 years young, and Dr. Ram loved you because of this enthusiasm and the passion and the power. Such a powerful example of Shakti. I just want to say thank you so much for being on this call. Such a beautiful.
We miss him, but you are carry on his work, which is really amazing. We need people like you to take us around the world. Thank you, Glenn.
Oh, thank you. Thank you both. Very, very powerful. Right now on this call, it's going around the world, and people from all over the planet are watching not only live, but also watching this recording. We're having so many thousands of people watching the recording, and it's so fun. The experience, I think, is unlike anything that maybe has ever happened on planet Earth before, because people are just showing up purely out of love in their heart and volunteering. And already, I just want to share, Mama Mankani, already volunteers have translated, are working on translating the book into 30 languages, all out of love, all out of love. And so many of them are on this call right now. And I just want to say to the people who are translating, thank you so much for this service. So many people will benefit through your dedication, through your love. Super. Thank you so much. Now, I want to say thank you for joining from Dubai. I just want to just do a quick scan and see. I saw Vera Meta on the call. I'm so happy. Radu from Romania. So many people. Anyone else have a specific miracle experience they especially want to share, they feel like can help and inspire other people? All right, Radu, we're coming to you. Coming in from Romania. Please share.
Oh, hello, everybody. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I would like to share something happened a few days ago. I had a dream in the morning before waking up. It was happening in India. So again, this is a dream. I'm gonna tell you a dream. It was happening in India, and it was a gathering waiting for Dr. Naram to come. And I was there. It was in front of a yard or with a house. And I was waiting there, and suddenly I heard his voice in the middle of a crowd in front of the house there. And I ran to see him, and I just said, Dr. Naram, only thing I want to say is that I'm loving you. I love you. And then I just felt a very, very big joy. And then I wake up. So I felt that he was really there in that dream. That was my feeling. I don't know if some of you had this kind of dream when you feel like something, somebody is right there, and you wake up with that and it's still there. This was happening twice in my life. This is the second time. So this is all that I wanted to say. And I'm very thankful to you that we are all here, and we could share these experiences. So thank you very much.
So beautiful, Radu. So beautiful. Because it's such a personal experience. I would ask people to raise their hand who's had an experience already like that with Dr. Naram in their dream or something, but I know it's personal, so I won't. But I've personally heard about from maybe 50 to 60 people. But what I love is the pure joy, like in your eyes and your face. And it's also an expression of your soul, that what you really wanted to do was just say, I love you. And I can feel that.
Yeah.
I really feel that. It's so beautiful.
That's right.
So there's a lot of people posting happy Eid Mubarak. And some people are wondering, what does that mean? So it's a very holy day in Islam. And I just want to recognize that, many people on this call, even I posted, there was the ambassador from Tanzania came to India after seeing my TEDx talk and met Dr. Naram, had her pulse taken, read the book. And one thing that was so beautiful, actually, her statement is in here. After reading the book, she's like, this changed my whole perspective. And she says this powerful book will change so many lives around the world. The Quran and the Hadith speak about health, with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, saying, God has not sent any disease without sending a cure for it. Through the ancient secrets described in this book, so many people will find their cure. I pray more people dedicate their lives to learning and sharing this ancient science to help people throughout Africa and all over the world. That's Dr. Batilda right here. Former Tanzanian ambassador to Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea. What I loved about her comment is, this is universal. This is beyond religion, beyond nationality, beyond caste, beyond creed. And the miracles like Radu shared, like Kim shared, like Elio shared, they can come to anyone. Just as simple as turning the light switch on, that little teeny point on the wall. You can punch the wall anywhere and it won't do anything, but that little teeny thing you press with oh so light a pressure, and all of a sudden it changes the whole perspective of your life and floods you with this love. And I've had many of these changes happening inside of me as well. But real quick, before I go to me, I know there's so many other beautiful people on the call. I just want to see if anyone feels so inspired I'm just going to real quick do a scan, or you can also, anyone else feel like they want to share? or you want me to call on you? Okay, beautiful. So I don't, okay, Lindsay, please.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Oh, okay. You know, there's so much. I don't even know where to begin. I've never actually shared on any of these calls what I've been going through personally, but I feel compelled to share it because I want people to know that if they're going through anything, no matter what it is, mentally, emotionally, physically, you're not alone. And I'm a mom of two very, very busy boys. And it's hard to take the time to heal myself. I have a condition that is not technically life-threatening, but it's life-altering. It's called microscopic colitis. And I have days where it just drains me. And I had a day like that the other day. And so I finally picked up the book. I got it in the mail. And I'm just so grateful. It brought me so much hope just reading the first couple chapters. And I feel this, I feel this sense of urgency to share it with the world. With my personal condition, it's hard to know what to eat. Pretty much everything can bring on symptoms, from food to emotional states to stress. And I just feel such a sense of hope reading about all the stories that you mentioned in the book, and just you spoke from your heart. And the fact that you're so honest about your own story, I just know, I mean, it's kindling it in me, but I know that it's just going to kindle the light in every single person who reads it, to be honest with their own story. And perhaps that can help us all kindle the healing that we all need as well. And I'm so grateful. Thank you. I've had many moments of clarity throughout this whole experience. And I think that's another thing that I've come to realize, is that many of us think of a miracle as this huge thing that's going to happen or drop from the sky. And many times it's not this one big thing. My husband just brought me Kleenex. It's not one big thing. It's really more of a culmination of many little things and little moments of clarity that spark within us. And for me, that's been everything from quotes that I've now read from your book to I believe that I have spirit animals surrounding me all the time. Actually, just the other day, a female cardinal came to the window. I've never seen a female cardinal up close before, and I usually only notice the males because they're so bright. But a female cardinal came right up to my kitchen window and was looking me in the eye. And it happened right at a moment where I was feeling so stressed and frustrated as a mother, with just not being able to, just feeling overwhelmed, not being able to handle everything that I want to do, along with mothering and homeschooling now and so many things. And the fact that it was a female cardinal that just came to the point where we were looking at each other in the eye, I couldn't help but feel that too was a miracle and a sign that I'm not alone. And there's something that we are all connected to. And excuse me as I wipe my nose. We're all connected. And there's so much more to my story that I would love to share, but I don't want to take up too much time. There's so many beautiful people on this call, and I'm sure that many others want to share their stories too. I just want to say that I love you all, and I'm with you. And I feel so blessed to be here in this moment, taking in the wisdom that you've shared through your book and through all of these beautiful Zoom chats that we've had the honor to take part in. Thank you. And hopefully we can share more in the future. I'd love to tell you more about many other miracles that I feel that I've witnessed throughout this experience. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Lindsay, for what you did share. So much love coming to you in the chat. Audrey says, thank you, Lindsay, for your vulnerability. Really appreciate it. Kathy says, God bless you, Lindsay. You spoke how I was feeling. Connie says, thank you, Lindsay. So beautiful what you shared. You touched my heart with your honesty and vulnerability. Arlene, thank you for sharing, Lindsay. And Jenny also, yes, we are with you. We love you, Lindsay. There's so many people just sharing. So thank you for sharing what you shared from your heart. All right, I'm going to go to, and I want to say also, yeah, your point about miracles was so powerful. Just on this Wednesday, so about 2 or 3 weeks ago, if you remember, Brandy came on the call and we all held space for this global meditation to happen, and it happened. And one beautiful statement was by Michael Beckwith. He talked about miracles. He used this quote. He says, a miracle is an instant demonstration of truth, which is here, but just needs to be seen. You know, a miracle is an instant demonstration of truth, which is here, but just needs to be seen. And I think about that. How many times maybe an animal has come and we haven't really paid attention, but that female robin soul looking at you right at the moment that your soul needed recognition, that everything's going to be okay. I see you. I feel you. I'm with you, you know, such a divine gift. So I feel that, and I'm so glad that you shared that, and so happy. Like that hummingbird just coming at the off season and bringing Elio's world with so much joy, you know, like this beautiful dog, Milo, that's just laying on the floor. Like I can't, it's like a divine gift. So Aditi Devo Bhava is such a powerful concept, as are all of the 6 principles of this experiment. Thank you so much for sharing. I see some other people do want to share, and I want to go to them, and then we have a very special guest here. So I want to thank that person who's on the call right now. I'm not going to reveal who it is quite yet, but I just want to say thank you for everyone who's on the call from all over the world. Monique, I see you joining from Netherlands. So happy to see you here. Oh man, so many people on the call. Minal, I'm just so happy to see you. So I want to go to Singh. I don't know your first name because it just says S, but if you can unmute yourself, I see your hands up. Let's see.
Hello,
there
namaste, everybody. I'm Sarabjit.
Oh, fantastic.
California, and I, just like Lindsay, you know, I'm just taking the courage. I raised my hand and I lowered it, and then somebody said, you raised your hand. So I thought I'll share my experience, you know, how I joined with your group. I, of course, got the email. I was part of the thing, but my search started some years back for my husband was very sick. He had Alzheimer's, and I was the primary caregiver when I was doing taking care of him. And that's the time I started searching, and I discovered Dr. Naram, you know, YouTube videos. And I was waiting. I said, the moment he comes to the US, I'm going to take my husband there, you know, but we never got a chance to meet him. But, you know, whatever medications I could do from his, you know, I tried to do my best, you know, and then 2 years back, of course, I lost my husband. And then joining this group has, I mean, there were a lot of miracles that has been happening, but I wanted to share one, just like your dog Milo, you know, just 2-3 weeks ago when I was on the call here, you know, I have a lot of birds in my backyard. I have hummingbird feeders, and sometimes when I sit outside, I put seeds for the birds. And since there are squirrels also, they, you know, destroy everything. So I keep the seeds inside when I come inside. So there's this one little bird, you know, it comes and knocks on the glass door and goes off, you know, and sometimes, so I keep the seeds out. And so one day I was in another room, I was doing my art and painting, and I don't think it knew I was in a different room. It came, sat there, looked at me, you know, and it started, and it went away, you know. And then again, second time, 5 minutes later, again it came, you know, sat at me, stared at me, and went away. And then I realized that he's asking me to come and put the seeds out. I kept the seeds out. And then the other day in the evening, then I was in my center part of the house, and I could see the window of my bedroom, and it's knocking from there, you know, to come out, you know, come out with the seeds. So I had to come out, you know, and then it came right away. So it's a daily basis now. It comes out, it comes to whichever room I am, you know, it'll make a noise and it'll bring me out, you know. So it's such a lovely experience connecting with it. And after reading your book, you know, it is amazing. And I think that's going to give a lot of hope to everybody. And you've done a wonderful, amazing job. And I think it's a 5-star book. That's all I wanted to share. In short, I would like to give others a chance also.
So beautiful. I'm so glad you spoke up and shared your heart. How do I pronounce your name? Do I say?
Sarabjit.
Sarabjit.
Yes.
That's what I call. Thank you so much for sharing. That was so beautiful. Wow, we could just end the call right now and all be like satisfied in our hearts. Wow, this is like I've heard many people this week say that this group experience is like a dream come true. And this is what we've wanted and what we've waited for is people that can share authentically from their heart what's really happening. And the sensitivity of like even paying attention to that robin or that hummingbird or whatever it is, like life is full of miracles, and just to be sensitive enough to see it and then spark that childlike wonder and awe and joy that, wow, are we really that loved? Is this real that we're that loved that the universe gives us these signs all the time, you know, that God brings this awareness to us? Now I know there's some people on the call that maybe not feeling that awe and that joy and that wonder and that excitement. And I just want to say you're totally welcome as you are, in this moment, exactly as you are. If you have some burden, you have some doubt, you have some challenge, you have some struggle, and it's weighing on you, I just want to say you're so welcome here. You came to the right place. And it's a simple path from where you are to that point of awe and wonder. And even I'm on that path myself. This week I had so many things shift in me. Like I shared, for those that saw the Facebook Live videos, I was feeling stress, and although I was surrounded by so many miracles, I was feeling sadness and stress, and I was feeling pressure. And I actually had a moment with 2 people that are part of this experiment where we just held in our space and our heart like a space of love to clear away anything that wasn't serving. And in that space, all of a sudden I saw, holy smokes, even though one of the principles of the experiment is focused on like your to-be list, not your to-do list. So instead of human doings, human beings, I wasn't doing it myself. I had an idea based on what I've been told about what makes a successful book launch, that the book gets launched and we sell so many books in that first day or that first week. And because of that, I was putting pressure on myself to do things a certain way to achieve that certain goal. But what I saw in that meditation, in that heart meditation, is that, holy smokes, it's not important the quantity of books that are sold at all. Like, that is important because it helps reach people like Lindsay, like you shared, and all the beautiful people who have received the books. We want as many people to get it as possible, but to set a number on it, the quantity is important. What's more important is the quality of love that we put into every interaction. Like the quality of love the translators put into the translation. The quality of love that I get to experience with each of the volunteers on the Miracle Dream Team. The quality of love we put in this call. The quality of love, Lindsay, as you're sharing it with whoever you share it with, or Elio, the quality of love when you're sharing your experience about the hummingbird, or Julia, as you're creating the video, this beautiful video about the energy drink, or Christelle, as you're creating so many videos. You're putting so much quality of love into it. And that's the magic. As soon as this hit me, all of a sudden I relaxed. I'm like, I can do that. You know, I'm not a human achieving. I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being. So what do I want to be? My to-be list is I want to be more playful, and I want to be more loving, and I want to be more real. And when I'm not happy, I just want to be honest about it. I don't want to pretend about it. You know, and I don't want to, just because I wrote this book and I want people to have an experience of joy, if I'm not feeling joy, I don't want to put on a mask and pretend it. Like, I'm in a journey myself, And so that was the magic of this experiment for me, was it helped me. So even yesterday when I presented right after Dr. Bruce Lipton at this advanced medicine conference, you know, I could do it in a way that I found myself loving myself more. And that was a miracle. And it felt so good. And it felt so good to share it with you on this Facebook Live and have so many people share your experience as a result of that. There was a little moment where before I met Milo, I had presented at Dr. Ram's prayer service. And I remember I was being so hard on myself. Even I was in the car with Jack Canfield and Inga Canfield and with my friend Mina, who was visiting. And I admitted to them, I don't know why, but I'm so critical of myself. Like I think of all the things I could have done better. And that's when I went to sleep and had that big depression come over me. And at 5:30 in the morning, this beautiful dog shows up. It's been a part of my life. And what better sign of love than a dog? You know, they just love you, you know. And so many miracles, mystical miracles have come as a result of it, including this experience that we're having right now probably wouldn't have happened other than just being like, wow, Aditi Devo Bhava, that principle is real, you know? And all the principles that we're sharing as a part of this experiment. So if you're at the point where you aren't quite yet experiencing that bliss or seeing any miracle, much less everything is a miracle, no problem. You're so welcome here. Your heart is welcome. And all that's required is you be you. And that you just, why not do an experiment with your life? Why not try this Aditi Devo Bhava thing? Why not try giving 100% in whatever it is you're doing, if it's cleaning the toilet, like we shared in the book. And then why not be open to what you want to be and focus on that instead of what you think you should do. And it's not what you should be in terms of I need to be an accomplished something or other. I need to be a millionaire. I need to be a famous something. No, the being is, what do you want to be in terms of, I want to be honest. I want to care. I want to be more grateful. Like that's the kind of being you focus on, and then magic can happen. In my case, wow, I didn't realize I wasn't doing that. Even though I was telling you guys to do it, I wasn't doing it myself. My ego was involved, certain fears were involved, so many things were involved, but now it's just melted away a lot more, and I just enjoying so much more even this moment of being with you. So thank you for sharing, thank you for being a part of this experiment, and thank you for being who you are in this moment and being willing and open for more magic to happen. So now I want to share this section from chapter 13. Many of you haven't gotten to this part yet. I want to share this magical experience because my mind as a university researcher, you know, Dr. Naram, he told me, he said, Clint, even if I told you the secrets, you wouldn't get it. You try and figure it out with your mind, but you wouldn't understand, because understanding comes from your heart and it comes from beyond mind. Oh, that scrambled my brain like anything, because I'm a university researcher. I figure stuff out with my mind. That's how I learn stuff and figure stuff out. So I have to go beyond my mind. It confused me. And actually then the whole process happened, which I shared in the TEDx talk about silence. But this conversation that happened in chapter 13 with this beautiful person whose name is Dr. Ludwig Max Fischer, I want to share with you, hoping it can also help connect your mind and heart in a certain way that can bring you over the bridge into where you can see more mystical miracles of love happening for you. So this is the conversation. While traveling, this is in chapter 13 of the book. While traveling in Mexico, I came across a university professor from Germany who lived in Toronto named Ludwig Max Fischer, also known as Max. He spent a good portion of his life researching ancient healing traditions around the world. I was instantly fascinated by his perspective on issues I struggled to understand. I reached out to Max asking if we could have a call. Why did you start researching this area? I asked. He said, when I was a young professor, I had a stomach pain that persisted for 1.5 years. With a soft German accent, Max's voice had a warm, soothing quality that made me feel as if I was talking to a wise grandfather. I went to doctors throughout Europe and the United States. They gave me one treatment after another, but nothing worked. And some of the side effects were awful. It got so bad that he was bedridden much of the time. He said, out of desperation, I met with a healer from an Eastern tradition. He told me there was an imbalance of the elements in my system. Too much wood in your body, he said. At the time, I remember thinking, he can't be serious. I haven't eaten any wood. To my academically trained ears, it sounded ridiculous. Out of desperation, I followed the healer's advice and was surprised how quickly I got better. That's amazing, I said. What's amazing, Max replied, is that although I regained my health, I had a mix of feelings about it. On one hand, I was grateful the advice worked. On the other hand, I was frustrated. I was too proud to admit that my Western education had failed me. It took a while to process my feelings, but in my search for truth, I began a lifelong study of ancient healing traditions around the world. I was captivated by what Max was saying. He continued, only later I discovered insights into how that healer analyzed and solved my problems so quickly. I realized that in modern Western medicine, we make everything into a fight. We fight disease, we fight bacteria, we fight cancer. In the Eastern system and other ancient traditions, it's not about fighting, but rather about creating balance through purification. Great healers from these ancient traditions are adept at identifying imbalances and prescribing remedies to cleanse and rebalance the system. I asked, if these ancient forms of healing are so effective, why do so many respected people minimize or reject them? For example, when I tried telling a friend of mine who's a doctor from America what I saw in India, he immediately said, these herbs and the ancient methods are not scientifically proven. Max listened deeply and then thoughtfully replied, I believe it's arrogant of us in modern Western system to automatically reject another approach by calling it not scientifically proven. That merely means it doesn't fit our limited and relatively young tradition of modern medical science, which has only been around for a couple hundred years. The concept of allopathic medicine only came into existence in 1842. In contrast, so many of the so-called alternative sciences have been refined by great scholars and healers for thousands of years, taking into account many variables that our scientists haven't yet considered, many of which our instruments can't even measure. While Max spoke, I thought about how Dr. Naram began so many conversations by referring to his unbroken lineage that goes back over 2,500 years. I had to admit that for anything to last that long, it must be doing something right. Our perspective is so very reductionistic, Max continued. By this, I mean we break things into parts. For example, Western medicine breaks a person into parts, then focuses only on those parts. We take into consideration only those things which we can measure. We rely primarily on the capture of statistical data regarding those parts, putting it into chart graphs. And then if we don't find what we're looking for, we assume the absence of evidence is evidence of absence, but it's not. By contrast, the ancient healing ways that consider the whole system. They understand how one part influences all the other parts and how to bring them all into balance. Then Max told me, most people don't know how electricity works, but when they see a light in the middle of a dark house, they usually walk towards it. I smiled at the analogy. Max said, although people like Dr. Ram are operating via rules and frameworks that most of us don't understand, what we see is his caring and devotion to patients. He is a light that so many people are attracted to in their darkest hour. They may not know how it works, but a burning desire for health guided them to him. There's a Buddhist saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Similarly, I believe that when the patient is open and ready, the healer appears. So beautiful. I see people clapping their hands. Thank you so much. So now we have a very special treat. I just want to see Max, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I know we had some technical difficulty. We'd love to see your beautiful face, but it's so fun to hear your voice. John,
next time.
Yeah, do we have it where we can see him as well as hear him, or just hear him? I'm not sure on that one.
I think it looks like you can only hear me today.
Yeah, just
okay.
here.
Okay, well, we love hearing you, Max. So first of all, I just read the section and you heard that. Anything you want to add or anything in your heart that you want to share about that segment of the book?
Well, I want to say that your book is a great source, and it really opens up very deep sources of wisdom. And I think that is the main message of Dr. Naram. I had the great fortune to experience him in person. And just 4 words, the 4 words in the title of your book, I think, are so meaningful and helpful for the issues that we deal with in our times. So that word ancient, it used to mean, oh, it's something old, it's something outdated, and we have a particular notion and an idea, an ideology of progress, that we are so much smarter. Well, and we're not. We don't know how to deal with some of the major issues in regard to health, whether it's Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or whatever, you know, or right now the virus. We are really betting everything on chemistry and technology, but there is a deep source, and there are several deep sources in the indigenous cultures. In these cultures, like the Indian culture and Chinese cultures, where the ancient ways of reharmonizing an imbalance in a person, whether that is mental, spiritual, or physical, has been preserved and is available again and is reopening up. And whether it's yoga, or whether it's Ayurveda, or whether it's even deeper Siddha Veda, we need these sources. And you know, they're not secret. That's the second word in your book. You know, secret. These secrets don't want to be kept. They never wanted to be kept. They were just ignored and neglected. So now to open up these secrets, which have been sort of in an involuntary hiding place, because another ideology, a modern ideology of progress, has basically invalidated them. Now that revalidation, just that word, ancient secrets, yes, we need to realize that these sources are ready to nourish us again. It's like opening up, you know, when you have a source of water, and you only just have to remove that cap that we put on by our own modern arrogance. Now, just a word about that third word, master. We need the masters again, and Dr. Naram is a master. So a master of healing, that means the ability is in the person. It's not in some statistics. It's not in some scale of whatever blood pressure is high, is low, blood sugar is high, is low, an external measurement. The personal interaction between the person who is a doctor and who is the patient, it all depends on the perception, on the ability, on the quality of attention, on the experience of that person. So master, the mastery, we need the masters again that provide embodied knowledge and embodied wisdom with an incredible awareness of the deep roots of that wisdom that goes over many generations and actually thousands of years. And then a word about the last word, the healer. Well, healing is not really just the maintenance of a disease. It's not an artificial external regulation that we impose on a particular body and then we have to deal with the side effects. Because if you suppress something, whatever that may be in the body, it will actually find an outlet in another part of the system. So that approach is really not healing. It's a maintenance of a disease, and or might be as necessary in an emergency situation. It might actually, yes, save a life at the moment. But the greater challenge is not really addressed. And the greater challenge is really to reharmonize that human organism in all its aspects. That means so it's at peace and can draw from its natural sources in order to regain its vitality. And there the great insight of the founder of Rancho La Puerta, the spa in Mexico, where I met Clint, Edmund Siki, was so wise when he said, nature works through renewal, not through repair. We have all those repaired systems and artificial whatever we have now in our bodies. No, we need to look again to reharmonize the primary system and support it, and to honor it relations with the animals, for example, with the plant life, with all of nature. So we cannot continue with this war against nature. We cannot defeat the whatever we find inconvenience. We have the obligation and the opportunity to reharmonize our relations, and the deeper wells of true health, longevity, and vitality, they are waiting for us to rejoin them and just kind of say, we're done with our superiority, we're done with our fantasies of control, of just doing whatever it is, plant world, animal world, spiritual world. We dominate everything with a particular secular way of playing God, basically, and it isn't working. So that humility, the mastery that we have experienced, and I did experience it with Dr. Naram, that is what, through the work right now of his family, his wife, his son, and Dr. Clint Rogers, it's our opportunity. It's our opportunity again to be in the presence of a wisdom that for a long time actually was waiting for us. It was never gone. It had never disappeared. It cannot be disappeared because it's our true, genuine heritage. So anyway, thank you so much for including me into this call. And it has been such a blessing to get to know Dr. Clint Rogers and to get to know Dr. Naram. And his message is alive and well. And we are in the midst of reclaiming what he has pointed out to us. It wasn't never really lost, but we need to pay attention in a way which comes from a place of cooperation rather than of domination. That's all.
So beautiful. You're getting a lot of love in the chat. Thank you so much, Max. This is what Diana shares. Thank you so much, Max, for sharing incredible wisdom and knowledge. Many blessings to you. Connie says, Dr. Fisher, that was powerful. Thank you. Arlene says, true healing has always been here. Ammonia says, powerful words. And I want to know if anyone has any questions. Anyone has any questions for Max while we have him on the line?
I have something. I have something to say to Max about.
I see. Just one second. Just let me finish the sentence, and then we'll hand it over to you.
Okay.
Just if anyone has a question for Max while Gary is saying whatever he wants to say, just put it in the chat. And Max, maybe we'll ask you 2 or 3 questions if that's okay with you.
Sure.
So okay. Thank you. I just want to acknowledge, first of all, hey, Max, it's good to hear your voice and your beautiful mastery of the language and explaining this phenomenal work. It's good to hear you.
Great to hear you too.
Yeah, I want to share something. In November, I was in Rancho La Puerta, and I had a planned surgery. And you guys, many of you have heard this story when I shared my story a week or 2 ago. But I didn't give credit where credit was due, Clint. I was really, really torn about this surgery, and I had a month to go before the surgery. And I sat with Max in his office, and he said, Gary, I just want you to be aware of the fact that everything comes through renewal, not through repair. And so no matter what they do to your back, it's not going to come. Do whatever you can to. Of course, sometimes you have to do the surgery. It's not about making yourself wrong. But Max, you were the one that made me really think out of the trance of the belief that allopathic traditional medicine was the only way. And I just want to thank you for challenging me to go deeper into recognizing that we are living beings that work through renewal, and not about making us wrong if we do the surgery, because sometimes that's exactly what's needed. But you really helped me say yes to the life force in my body. And I just want to thank you for being a warrior of healing to that degree. Thank you so much.
And you, Gary, gave great blessings and healing powers to a lot of people through the way you approach and bring to people the healing power of music, which is a fundamental way of reharmonizing our whole being in this world. So thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Mac.
Beautiful. Thank you, Gary. We got a lot of questions, and even the first question is one that Max and I have spent hours and hours discussing. So I'm gonna ask it anyway, Max, and you can decide which points you want to bring out. This comes from Michael. He says, Max, can you speak about the difference between Western cures versus ancient healing?
Well, I would say the fundamental issue is that modern Western medicine, and by the way, it has its great accomplishments, and I'm not generically against Western medicine at all, because, you know, if you have a heart attack, if you have a car accident and they can put your hand back on to your arm through surgery. So it has its very powerful and strong beneficial impact on human health. But philosophically speaking, it does basically work with a war metaphor. And it works with a war metaphor right now when we speak about the virus. We have frontline workers. Frontline, because we have an enemy. Do we really have an enemy in this virus? And I'm very grateful if I get this particular COVID virus, if I have a respirator and have all the modern technology available, and all the vitamin C's and D's and whatever else they will give me in the emergency room. Very grateful for it. But is war the only answer? And could we look at it from a different point of view? Could we look at it that this is a messenger? A messenger. In other words, have we done something with the air that really comes back to us? You know, there is scientific study right now that in Italy was so hard, hit very hard, that where the air pollution is the greatest, the rate of people dying is also the greatest. So we have to look, have we played God with the elements? Have we played, what is the pollution that we put out with not being able to breathe clean air, not being able in many places to drink clean water, and having a lot of chemicals in the soil that are not beneficial, and the uptake in the plants gives us a quantitatively much bigger yield of a harvest that doesn't have actually the qualitative enzymes in it, the plant that, or the minerals or the vitamins. So can we look at these things that come to us that are inconvenient and even dangerous? Can we look at them maybe above and beyond the actual and very important defense mechanisms that we have in place? And I think I'm not somebody to say, you know, ignore social distancing. I'm not at all. Do all these things that are the hand washing, all of that, all of these things, do them. But can we look at it from a larger perspective of what would renewal of the peace with these elements look like? And would it have an effect, a beneficial effect on the long-term, stronger immune system? So, you know, if people ask me questions, I usually raise another question because I'm not an answering machine. I think if we reframe our way of looking at the so-called enemy, or if we look at again through an openness of the mind, because miracles happen, but they depend on the quality of attention that we give to something and whether our perception is able to look at something afresh and anew. Because the basic resistance and defense mechanism that we have against all miracles that are trying to approach us at every second is that we categorize whatever we see and hear immediately, whether it fits into some prearranged intentionality. You know, what do I get from it? Is this useful for me right now? So if we give the quality of the newness, of the undecidedness, of that something, what is this? And we pay attention to something as if it could open up a door, then we are the recipients of many miracles every day. So it really depends. If I don't have already something, ready-made boxes in which I put things as desirable and undesirable, well, you know, then there's a newness, there's a freshness, there's a vitality, there is a source of joy, there is a source of astonishment, amazement. And then if you connect that with a certain gratefulness, as it has come forth in many of the people who share their own miracles, then all of life is really unfolding as a series of miracles. Until the great miracle that comes at the end of that progression, when we are moving across the threshold into the spirit world, where then that person who is in the spirit world, we can contact and we can be contacted by through inspiration, spirit inspiration. And that's when we are really in the presence of a great shower of blessings. That's all for that particular question.
So beautiful. You know, Max and I have had hours and hours and hours of conversations, and actually I have this idea to write an article with him about the distinctions between the ancient, you know, ancient healing methods and the modern healing ones. And he has so many good points, and I couldn't take notes fast enough. And he just shared one of them briefly right now. Oh, just 1 second. But there was so many other ones like that I can talk about at some point. But just one that sticks out to me right now is even in ancient China, the doctor got paid as long as you stayed healthy. As soon as you got sick, then he stopped getting paid. So he's incentivized to actually keep you healthy. It's a totally flip from modern. He gets paid when you get sick. If you don't get sick, he doesn't have a business. You know, so isn't that an amazing concept? Why not pay the healers as long as you're healthy? So they're incentivized to find ways to maintain health. So this is just a fun one there. Max, you got so many great comments and so much great love coming at you. I'm looking at all these great questions, and maybe you and I can have another conversation. We can have another full hour with everyone or something like that. But I just want to say we love you, and we love your wisdom, and so grateful for your perspective, your life's hard work, and being able to speak honestly so you can see the distinctions that maybe are invisible to us until you illuminate them, and then it becomes obvious. You have a special gift for that, special talent for that, and I want to thank you so much, Max.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I want to give one person just a chance to share, you know, even Connie, I just want you to share your reaction to hearing Max speaking. You just share from anything from your heart about what you heard and what you felt as he spoke.
Well, Max, it just spoke so much to my heart, because that is exactly what I so much believe, because I wrote a book as well about health and healing. And one of the things that we are saying in the book is the way we talk about disease, that we fight the virus, we fight all of that. It's so materialistic. And by just using these words, our body is already in a stress situation, because it's really like war. We are going against something instead of embracing that. And so that what you just said is just like yeah, a breath of fresh air, because that's what you don't hear normally in the Western world. And I hope everyone on the call and everyone who's going to listen to the replay is really taking that message in, because it's so powerful once we understand what we are actually doing to our body just by using those kinds of words and seeing everything as something outside of ourselves instead of seeing it as something that is brought to us, maybe even as a chance of a deeper healing. If I get sick, it's always an opportunity for me to look deeper. And even having that kind of understanding, that's why I'm not afraid, as you said, of the virus, because if I get it, then what is the message for me? What do I need to change in order to really heal? And so I'm so, I really go back, as soon as the replay is out, I will listen to that again, because it was just so empowering, because it really gives us back the power that we have as a person to heal ourselves.
Thank you for sharing that. I totally agree with you.
Beautiful. Next I want to go to, I know I'm just calling on you kind of randomly, but Eliza, I just see you smiling and I want to hear what's in your mind and your heart as you're listening to Max share. So I don't know if you can unmute yourself or I'll unmute you. Oh, there you go.
Sure. I love the idea of renewal and looking at everything with new eyes and looking at life anew, including healing. And I feel that now, the moment your book is coming out, we need it, because we are fighting a virus that is attacking our immune systems. And as we all understood, we need to strengthen our bodies, and that's what we do on a daily basis and how we perceive our daily life. So I just want to thank Dr. Fisher, and I want to thank you for coming with this in such a time. It's like a miraculous apparition of your book, and I'm sure it will be an amazing success and will be received with lots of great love. And all of us will spread the message and will share the book. So you'll have the effect multiplied by whatever, 143 people on this call. So I'm grateful to be part of all of you, and I love you and I'm with you. And to you, Dr. Clint, lots of love.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I can feel your love in that. Thank you so much. And I just want to make it, I want to say thank you. The quality of your love and what you just spoke was so beautiful. And that is really the whole point of it. What I love about what Max points out is most of the world sees it as a fight, sees it as a battle. But the ancient science didn't see it as a fight. There is no fight. It's just about rebalancing the system and purifying it. So what if instead of looking at it as we're being attacked by something that we have to defend, what if instead there's a teacher that's trying to teach us something? And it's trying to point out something we missed. And we look at what is that thing we missed, and then it's more rebalancing in a healthier way that we can live than even before the situation came. So that's really beautiful. I want to go to Monia next. Monia, I'm going to unmute you. I don't know if you can put your video on too, but let's see if you can, there we go.
Can you
speak? Beautiful,
yes.
Yeah, please.
First of all, sorry, because maybe my English is not very good to express really what I want to say. I am Italian, and since the beginning of the week, we can go for a walk outside, And yesterday I have a daughter, me and Sophia. We went to walk into a park, and we were without the mask. So some people, we crossed with people in a very big area. So some people was looking at us very, very bad, and someone said that we are like we are putting in danger some other people. So I was really angry. because of my daughter and try to explain to my daughter what is going to happen. And then my thing is that I'm not fighting against a virus, but I'm fighting against a kind of mentality which is really much more dangerous than the virus. That's all. I'm worried about new generation. I'm worried about children. I am a teacher in science, and I really feel my mission to try to open the mind and to awake young people, because here in Italy, I have a lot of limit when I have to express my idea about some scientific processes and alternative processes in science. So I really have to be very pay attention to all these kind of things. When some of my students talk about vaccines, I have to pay really attention to that. So I'm thinking about how I can change really, and how I can awake young people. Also, I want to thank Dr. Fisher, because he just gave me some point of inspiration. And thank you to you all, and thank you to you, Dr. Clint, to give me the opportunity to speak.
Such beautiful sharing. You're not only your English is good, but your heart is so amazing, and we can feel that. I want to just say thank you so much for sharing. We're getting some comments. Also, Max, we have Michael saying, he says, I've just found that this curing in Western medicine means eliminating all evidence of disease. He says this works well with the war analogy and eliminating the enemy. But healing means becoming whole, which is the renewal approach I hear Max saying. We search for cures in the West instead of living as whole, healed humans.
Yeah. I'd like to add something about this wonderful comment from the lady from Italy. We have to be very careful when there's a danger and we respond with fear to it rather than with caution. You know, I'm not at all saying we should ignore, this virus at this point. And I'm not believe that conspiracy theories are helpful. What fear produces, it's a constriction of the mind. And then it becomes very defensive, aggressive against that there could be another option, because that fear is looking for a definitive, immediate, and very impatient solution. And it expects it from a very specifically ideologically manifested place. And the thought that the solution could come from something beyond that which is at the moment conventionally correct is a big threat. And then if someone doesn't wear that mask, then that person will be labeled right away as irresponsible and dangerous. So that's a very difficult knot, really, in the mind, that to dissolve that one, because it's very important that we don't suddenly declare, if we feel that there is a bigger, wider path that we need to walk, and it's not well paved yet at all, that that we declare now conventional medicine as the enemy, which it is not. It does at this moment a very, very important and necessary job. And we don't fight that. You have to look at, as soon as you think you switch side, that you develop another front. So it is not that we have to defend ourselves against certain restrictions that are imposed upon us right now. We have to look at what we can do in order to open up to a wider horizon of looking at what we consider now as the definitive solutions for a very specific and very urgent problem. And that is a difficult thing to do in a time of where we are dealing with a concrete threat. You know, Einstein once said a sentence that really, really influences me every day a great deal. He said, you know, the basic decision we have to make is to answer the question, is the universe friendly? Is the universe friendly? Is nature friendly? And if we answer this question with a yes, and we answer it with a deepening of the trust in nature, in the spiritual powers that maintain these life biological progressions that we're going through, then we have a larger healer that can build something around that castle of the fierce defendant of a particular way of solving this problem right now, definitively. And then I think we're looking at the world from a wider horizon. And out of that wider horizons, we can tap into great healing powers that are available and have been available, and to look into the ancient sources to untap these wells again. That will make, and I love this sentence, which is a model sentence of Dr. Clint Rogers, is, and I think it comes from Buckminster Fuller. And Clint, could you please quote that? I know you know it by heart.
The quote from Dr. Fuller?
Yeah.
Which
about
one?
a system and replace it with, to make an old system obsolete.
Oh, I see. Yeah. From Buckminster Fuller. Yeah, let me actually, I'll just read it to you to make sure I get it totally right. Milo is also wanting to say hello to everybody. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, huh? I was just petting him, and so as soon as I pull my hand away, he always complains. He's like, what happened? Okay, here's the actual quote. It goes like this. It's this quote here. I think this is the one you're talking about. In his own quote. Buckminster Fuller says, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Buckminster Fuller.
And I want to change that slightly by saying, replace it with an ancient model. We have forgotten how new it is, because we haven't paid attention for a long time, and we have placed a certain not very useful modern arrogance on top of these ancient sources of wisdoms.
Yeah, so
true. Replace rather than fight, renew rather than meet it with fear and aggressive defensive ways of dealing with an urgent issue.
One more question, Max, and then we're going to actually split into groups so everyone has a chance to share. But one thing is so powerful is it's called the Global Healing Miracle Experiment. And the whole idea is when we heal ourselves, it's also blessing all of humanity at the same time. And, there's a quote from the Course in Miracles says, there's no order of degree of miracles. So just as easy to do one miracle as another. Can you just speak to miracles? Just for I know you did earlier, but just before we go into the breakout, as some people are thinking about their lives and the healing miracles they're experiencing. Some people are in all this joy about what they've already experienced. Other people are still looking forward to what may come. Any thoughts? And then after Max shares, I'm just preparing everyone. We have a real special gift. Gary's going to bring us into an experience with music, and then we'll launch into a breakout session for about 15 minutes. But Max, anything else you want to share about miracles right now?
Well, I think there is a way to invite miracles. We cannot command them, we cannot order them, but we can invite them. And I think the best way to invite a miracle is as we open our eyes, and whatever we perceive, whoever is in front of us, instead of thinking the lowest form is, what can I get from it? Or what is it I might have to be afraid of? Is to simply stand back and leave that moment of direct open perception and stay in it as long as we can and let it speak, whatever it is, that animal that is in front of us, that bird that we heard of earlier. And what is its message? And try not to identify the purpose of this message, but just stay with what is, with it, giving it presence and giving it the gift, whatever you meet, of your presence, and abstain from jumping too fast into purpose. And then the miracles will unfold in front of us and join us in the celebration of the direct experience of life.
Oh, that's so perfect. Gary, isn't that perfect? We're about to go into an experience about how you actually, we're going to do that right now in this moment, is open our hearts. And Gary's going to walk us through something to open our hearts, to be that open-hearted person that instead of saying, what can I get from this? Or what do I have to be afraid of? Just that open-hearted, direct perception to allow the miracle to unfold. So Gary, I'm going to hand it over to you now. Max, love you so much.
I love you to all of you. So happy to be part of it.
Yeah, so everybody, this is a great opportunity to recognize that we are beautiful minds, we are beautiful hearts, but we are also beautiful bodies. So if you can, without damaging yourself, stand up, get away from this neck up reality, and allow your feet to be on the ground, shoulder distance apart. Allow yourself to really have your heart up and out. If you're slumping, pull your back. And we're going to do a song that I produced. One of my favorite types of music to awaken joy is Bollywood music. So a really phenomenal teacher, Jason Schulman, who has a school called A Society of Souls. He's, get this, a non-dual Kabbalistic rabbi. And he wrote this song, and I produced and arranged it in the style of Bollywood. Actually, I helped him write it a little bit. So here it is. Now, the purpose of this is, instead of using music for heart-centered mindfulness, which is a lot of what we've been doing, is to use the music to animate our bodies and open our hearts. So when you hear the words, oh, let me be an open-hearted man or an open-hearted woman, you basically you sing the man and the woman in you. We're all a combination of the masculine and the feminine. Or you can just sing the one that says an open-hearted man. And the words are very simple. So allow the music to animate your body and open your heart. I know we're an hour and a half into this call, so we'll go into breakouts after the song. It's about 5 minutes, 4 minutes. And here we go. Take a deep breath. Get ready for a little joy to run through your being. Move your arms over your arms, light. joy of music celebrating life.
Oh, let me be an open-hearted man.
Oh, let me be an open-hearted woman.
Oh, let me be the one who understands.
Oh, let me be the one who's filled with wisdom.
Oh, let me be the one who understands. Oh, let me be the one who's filled with wisdom. That's it. Sing as if no one's listening.
Oh, let me be an open-hearted man.
Oh, let me be an open-hearted woman.
Oh, let me be the one who understands.
Oh, let me be the one who's filled with wisdom.
Oh, let me be an open-hearted man.
Oh, let me be an open-hearted woman.
Oh, let me be the one who understands.
Oh, let me be the one who's filled with wisdom.
Let a smile come forth. If you know Bollywood moves, please share them.
Oh, let me be an open-hearted man.
Oh, let me be an open-hearted woman.
Oh, let me be the one who understands.
Oh, let me be the one who's filled with wisdom. Me be an open-hearted man. Let me be an open-hearted woman. Let me be an open-hearted man. Let me be an open-hearted woman. Let me be an open-hearted man.
Open-hearted.
An open-hearted woman. Let me be an open-hearted man. Let me be an open-hearted woman. Let me be an open-hearted man. Let me be an open-hearted woman. Let me be an open-hearted man.
Music is the sound of life celebrating itself, and allow the music to awaken your joy. And that is a beautiful example of that. Jason.
That was so much fun. It was really fun. I've seen people all over the world dancing the same time to such a beautiful, beautiful song, and even those that were feeling the music come through you. It's just really, that was really a special treat. Thank you, Gare. Thank you so much.
You can
All right.
find that song from, I'm going to put it on the chat. It's called Unlock My Heart by Jason Schulman. I produced it many years ago, but you can get it online. So enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, that was awesome. So now we're going to go into breakouts where you're going to be able to share. I want you to really care about the people in your breakout. So as much as you can share with them along the lines of, first of all, if you've been seeing miracles, I want you to share what are those miracles you've seen, and what was that moment, or what were the things you did that helped invite that. Like Max was saying, we can do certain things to invite more miracles in our lives. So I want you to have a chance to share what those are. And if someone in your group is stuck, like they're in a moment where they're not seeing miracles in their life, or they're not feeling so miraculous, or they're not having that experience, then I want you to just be with them and look at, just listen to them, basically. You don't have to teach them anything, but just ask, maybe what are the principles of this experiment that they feel inspired to do this week a little more or differently? Like, what else do they want to try to invite even more of that mystical miracles of love and healing in their life? So we're about to split into the groups. As soon as you'll see on your screen a little thing that says go into the group, then you can go there. Before we go to the group, because I know, Max, you're on a phone, so it'll be a little tricky to go in the group. Any final message you want to give us, Max, before we go into these groups?
I think that was such a wonderful experience to be virtually with this group, that I'm looking forward to another time. And in the meantime, I really wish everybody to feel in every day an increase of flow of love into your life. It is trying to come into each one of us. And if we just kind of soften a little bit around our defense systems, then we can experience behind these closed doors that we build with our contracted minds an opening. And there are many doors that want to open. And may there many for each one of you open in these coming days and weeks. All the best to everyone. Until soon. Bye-bye.
Beautiful. Thank you, Max. You're getting lots of love, lots of people waving and loving. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're about to go into the breakout group. So go ahead and click on your screen to say that you're accepted into the breakout room. Then we'll start, and afterwards we'll come all back together. I'll give you a 2-minute warning, but we're gonna break out now for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So go ahead and accept that invitation on your screen, and we'll come back and we'll meet in about 10 minutes.
We can't hear you, Dr. Clint.
Oh,
You're
Audrey,
muted.
sorry
Yeah. Hey.
I was thinking that whole time. Amazing. I was just saying I was going to unmute you so that way you could share your miracle experience first. So would you be willing to share any kind of miracles you've been seeing over this last week or during this experiment?
Actually, I just became aware I'm not looking for miracles, and that is probably why I don't see them. And it's not that they're not happening. They're happening all the time. It's just not looking for them. So
Yeah, that's a really powerful concept. Yeah. Yeah.
so you take for granted everything that happens in your life, while every moment is a miracle. Every breath we take is a miracle.
Yeah.
Every connection we have in our lives are miracles. So I think it's just, we're just not open. If we don't see them, then it's because we're not looking. We're not looking at it with that attitude.
Is really powerful. Really powerful concept. Just 1 second here.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Dr.
beautiful.
Clint, are you aware you sent me to a room all on my own?
Oh my goodness, I'm glad you came back.
I went to a room and there was nobody there.
I was in
So
a
I panicked
room
and I came
where
out and went back in, and I'm with all you lovely people.
Me too.
Me too. I was in a room where there was no one talking, and they were like,
do you think God? Do you think the power that be is trying to tell me something?
So I said, okay.
I didn't realize the book was out. I thought the book was going to be released on the 1st of June.
Yeah, it's coming up 1st of June. Yeah.
No, but it's
coming up
out now.
Well, what happened is we made it available for some people to get so that they could put they could give reviews on it before it comes out. So that way it had more, when it comes out, it'll be better. But yeah, technically you could buy it right now on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Brilliant.
That sounds good.
Thank you. I will. I promised you I'd buy you two. So I'll buy two. I promised. And give one to one of my friends, my very skeptical friends. But I keep trying. I keep beating on their doors. But maybe one day.
We can't force someone else. They are on their journey.
I know,
learned
but
that
I want to drag them along.
Yeah, I learned that a long time back.
What kind of miracles have you been seeing in your own life? I'm just curious. I want to hear any kind of miracles you've been seeing over the last weeks, or both for Amber Grace. How do I pronounce your name? I'm so sorry.
Anne-Marie. It's what I use when I'm saying naughty things about Trump on YouTube. So everybody knows now. They know who I am.
Now we know the truth.
It's just Anne or Anne-Marie, I don't mind.
Okay.
The miracle I've had is 18 months of bleeding after an operation. Well, I had an operation was longer than that, but I started bleeding. It was terrible. And one night after the session, I felt this terrible burning after, listening. And I couldn't sleep. I felt really, really uncomfortable to find that this thing that had been causing me a problem for 18 months was healed completely.
Whoa.
And I shared it with his wife. I sent a thing to his wife, but I didn't really believe it. I thought this can't be happening. Yeah, I was a bit shocked. I didn't really believe it because it didn't seem real. And the way it was healed was pretty uncomfortable. It just felt terrible. I couldn't sleep. It was like burning. But it's healed completely. And I wouldn't say it's something psychological. That wasn't a thing I wanted or wished for. I wanted to be healed, but that wasn't in my head to be healed, if you know what I mean. I'd want a house or something. I'd want money, but that was not something I was thinking about. But that was the thing that was healed. And I'm very grateful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Really powerful. That was really cool. All right, Randy, do you want to share any kind of miracles that you've been seeing? I'm just really curious.
Well, Clint, we talked about something that I'm practicing, and I felt it's changed my meditation practices in being a lot more deeper, a lot more focused. We talked on our other calls with our other group about being the 100% and trying to focus. And what I've found, and I mentioned it before, is trying to be in being, it is what it is, and not trying to, like we talked earlier today about fighting things, and instead of fighting, and it is the way it is, and being with okay with the way it is. And I think for me, I've personally felt a lot more calm, a lot, even though I'm trying to sell my property, just a lot more okay with whatever is. And for me, I think fighting the negativity and the inside voice all the time, I've been able to be at peace, I think is what I want to say. And what we did today with the dancing, that song for me, I was doing my little thing, but I could just feel the energy coming up and giving me a rush every time I swept my hands up. It was just, it was an experience. That's all I can say. So thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing. All right, I'm gonna close the room, and everyone's gonna come back within 60 seconds.
Can we just see what Jerry's doing? Jerry Padden. She's just doing some nice sewing, I think. Are you sewing, Jerry?
Let's see.
She's not
here.
answering. She stopped.
Oh, Jerry, yeah. Looks like some good sewing, Jerry.
Clint, can I share something?
Yeah, please. Please do.
So I do a technique called EFT, and I work with clients, but I've been struggling most is with my kids, and just recently, this is a miracle because my son would never, acknowledge anything that I do, but now he is actually coming to me and I'm helping him. So, and his life is changing, and it gives me so much peace because it feels like I'm changing or helping change what I created through my own unhealing. Yeah. So that's huge for me. Yes.
Oh, that's so big. That's so meaningful. In fact, when I spoke at this advanced medicine conference, I actually focused on the stories with my family, because it means that much. That's the most, is when they come to you and they want help, and the whole thing happens. In fact, it's so fun even to see my mom on this call. I don't know if she's still on the call. Let's see, Mom. Oh yeah, there she is. Hey, Mom. Any thoughts you want to share with everyone? I don't know if you can unmute yourself, but I just always want to give her some time if she's on the call.
I unmuted
now. Yay, my mom. Good. Any miracles you've been seeing lately, or anything you want to share in this final minutes of the call?
Well, I am very grateful for the miracle that happened, that created all these wonderful people to help you with your book launch, and making it a miracle that is far surpassed what you ever thought it would be.
Good. So now you have the blessing of my mama, and you're getting lots of claps and lots of everything. I just want to say, if you have a blessing of your mother and a blessing of my mother, that you better expect even great miracles. This is the last week before the final the sixth week of the Global Healing Miracle Experiment will happen on next Sunday. And then the Monday after that is the launch of the book, and so many beautiful things happening. But this moment and this week, I really encourage you to do whatever you can to follow these principles, really being clear on what you want. What do you want from today? And then also, what do you want even more generally to be? Like, what do you want to be more grateful, more playful, whatever it is? And then Aditi Devo Bhava, treating that unexpected guest as if God or God himself or herself has come to visit you, giving 100%, and then infusing your life with more gratitude. In that Facebook space, I love seeing the gratitude statements coming from people. I want to go to one person before we close, because I promised I would. Nohad, you had something you want to share. Can you unmute yourself? There we go. Please.
Yeah, this is
Dr.
Dr.
Nohad.
Nohad. Dr. Nohad from Iraq. I am PhD in pharmacy. I'm pharmacist in my bachelor in pharmacy.
Wow.
So for the all time previous time or years ago, I was let me say of my scientific background with no spiritual. So I'm dealing with science and maternal, which is actually for all this time being before, it's not worthy for me. Yes, it is my profession. Yes, it is my job, but for spiritual, I suppose that I was thrilled to have this group like Dr. Klein. So this to be involved in your group, and each time when you invite me for this meeting, I suppose it is a type of miracle because it's come or comes vibrate with my heart, because I'm looking for such a type of meeting. I have idea about email, just I email to be involved in a course for Dr. Naram, which is unfortunately I have no idea to meet him or have full idea about him. But when I have the email from you, Dr. Klein, and invite me for this group, actually for the time being, I have no idea about this, but something like magnetic attract me to you and your group. And one day after that, I found that this really happening to me. I'm searching for this for long of time. I have no idea about Dr. Klein. I have no idea about any of your member, but the thoughts, the information that come, it is what I'm searching for a long time, Dr. Klein. This is miracle. This is what happened to me. It is, believe me, it is what I'm searching for a long time to discover my spirit, to be apart from medication, because I used to have, since I'm pharmacist, I all the time at my community pharmacy, I advise people to have this medication for such case, for such disease. But this is for more than 6 years. I am really departed from my scientific background as a pharmacist. And day after day, I discovered that there is some mastery of healing more powerful than medication, more powerful that I used to use it for all time being before. And believe me, this is about 6 years. I haven't any medication before. For headache, I should have Paristal. For stomach, I have to have medication for GIT disturbance. For any, I was scientific approach, but for 6, and nowadays I believe that some people sharing my idea. That's why your group attract me actually, and I think that it is magnetic power. You create electromagnetic field for all of members to attract each other. And this is to all the body speaking about Corona and COVID-19. And now we are dealing with something else, something that gives us immunity. No drug can give it to you. No medication can give it to you. It is your sympathy. It is your, let me say, your fantastic thoughts that you driven to us or launch each time. So I am grateful, actually. I am highly appreciate to what you present, and it is a free free everybody. We are supposed to be like a nucleus to aware the people around us that there is something more powerful, and it is free of charge. You can get it from yourself. Just believe in your spiritual. Just believe that there are good people, that they give you the advice, give you miracles, give you sympathetic with no refund. Oh my God. Oh my God. I feel pity. I regret for all these years that went, and I am looking just for science, looking for medication, and forget my spiritual life, forget good people, that give healing any type of disease. Since you believe in yourself, since that you are part of God, so why to be worried about medication? Why to worry from Corona? Or I'm sorry to have more than enough time, but actually this come fluently. That's what I feel. I try to launch to all of you. Thank you, Glenn.
Oh, wow. You're getting so much love in the chat from people all over the world. They're just saying they're just falling in love with you. You're like a magnet. Your love is like a magnet. Your soul is like a magnet. And you're drawing all of us into the magic of this moment. And it really is a magical moment.
Yeah,
it is.
Really.
And the fact that you, pharmacist
I'm
with
sorry because
scientific background.
My native
You're
language is not English. That's why I cannot choose the right word like you. You are perfect.
I think your native language is love. That's your native language, and you spoke it perfectly. You spoke it perfectly. It is so perfect. Man, it's already been over 2 hours on this call. I feel so blessed to be with you all. And I want to hear from more people. I see in the chat, Barbara is saying, please we don't want this to end at week 6, you know, and I see other people sharing different things. And so we'll brainstorm together. What's the best thing that we can do for ourselves and for humanity, for those that we love? But Dr. Nohad from Iraq, I would just want to say it's a miracle in my heart that you came and that you shared what you just shared right now, and that you continue to be who you are on this planet is such a gift for everyone who's joining this call. There's a reason you're here. There's something that attracted you to be in this experience. You have an important purpose. You have an important purpose to play for yourself, loving yourself more, and those immediately around you and the other people that we'll connect with through whatever we create together. Such an honor to be with you on this journey. I love you and I'm with you, and I'm just so grateful to see these miracles happening for each of you. I celebrate your miracle with as much excitement or even more than when they happen for me, because I know we're all connected. And I know your miracle is my miracle. And the more that we see this happening like this in this kind of a group, it sends out ripples. Like Dr. Nohad said, it's like a magnet, and it's going to attract all kinds of beautiful things to happen. And so it's such an honor to be with you in this beautiful journey. I'm just going to unmute for a second, and you can all just say, I love you, I'm with you, or you can unmute yourself.
Love you and I'm with you.
You guys.
Love you.
You guys, all of
Very much,
you.
Dr. Rogers.
This amazing moment.
Love you. Gratitude
Hello,
to have
thank
you all
you.
for
Love you and I'm with you.
It
was great. And with you.
Love you. All the blessings extended to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you, and I'm with you.
Thank you for sharing.
Love you all.
So beautiful. I honestly wish I could hear from each of you sharing more. But
Praful Gurkha first time, and it was a magical moment for me, magnetic.
Magnetic moment for you.
Somehow I was attracted by chance today. I didn't know anything about this. Just by chance, I managed to connect with you in this meeting. And it has been really good.
So grateful you're here, and we hope you come again and again and again to this
Yes.
feast of miracle, abundance of love, and abundance of just being real and being yourself in this magical moment that we find ourselves in. So thank
Today
you so
I
much for joining us.
today
Everyone,
I had a bit of mental kind of stress, and it has really calmed me down, and I felt good spending the 2 hours with you.
That's
It
so
was really,
beautiful.
really good, and I hope to continue as you go along.
Beautiful. You're very welcome. From my heart to your heart, I'm so glad that something about spirit attracted you like a magnet to this experience, and we look forward to what you have to share as well. Thank you everyone for who shared and those who wanted to share. Looking forward to hearing you on future calls. And for now, just wishing you stay safe, stay inspired. And oh, actually, Max, are you still here? Let's see, just one second.
Yes,
Oh, just 1 second, Max. I just accidentally muted you. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Oh, there we go, Max.
okay, I'm here.
Did you hear what Dr. Nohad from Iraq shared and what other people shared? I don't know if you were able to hear that part.
I was able to hear, and it felt very, very deep, because particularly when you are in raised and educated at a very high level, in a particular way of thinking, like I was, grew up in that academic paradigm, the analytical, critical perspective as being the only way of approaching something that is deeply true, then to grow beyond that and accept something that might be in contradiction to some extent, that requires a very deep and rich and old soul. So I was very happy to hear that sharing, because it empowers then other people to say, what is it really that my own way of categorizing my world and seeing things only in one way being the right way. And I think this is the great challenge of looking again everything that we see as that has been invalidated. And there's one sentence right now that comes very much to me. An old Tai Chi master once said, "The ordinary is the extraordinary." So as soon as we approach whatever we experience as an extraordinary event, as an extraordinary, unique, and absolutely only happening at one instant of a second, in that word that wants us to let it in all its possibilities and potentials, then it is that everything becomes extraordinary. And only that which we put in the prison of the ordinary and habitual and of the already classified and already dismissed or highly touted, but it's all just fixed really in what most of the time we identify as good or bad, right or wrong. So to have that second attention, which is actually should be our primary, that provides that opening, and that is the opening door to the daily, the hourly, and the momentary miracles that are waiting for us. And let's not let them wait too long and too often. The ordinary is the that is what I wanted to add.
Beautiful. I'm not exactly sure why, but they're giving us some music, which I'm thinking means that our call is about over. So thank you so much, Max. We could listen to you forever. Many people are saying lots of love to everyone. Let's make this note like they have no child left behind, no adult left behind. All of us, let's gather and come into this miracle experience of this moment. Sending you lots of love. See you next week. Namaskar.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye-bye.
Namaste.
Namaste.